Good morning, folks. Welcome back again. Back a little earlier than I thought I'd be, but here we are. We'll make some stuff together. Should be cool. So I did another poll on Mastodon yesterday about what to make, and it seems like something coastal and cooperatist was winning. So based on that, I thought I would do another settlement, but something a little bit closer to the water. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to create, I think we will go with a circle today. S50 will give us lots of room. And then Control A, rotation and scale, Tab F. And then I think just go ahead and quad mesh it now to like, 400. Something reasonable. Yeah, that seems good. And so we're just going to make sort of a tiny micro island in the Caribbean is I think the plan. So let's just turn on that and give ourselves a bit of a bump. Maybe not even, yeah, that's fine. Up a little bit, down a little bit, flatten that out a little. We can be fairly simple on this one because it's just going to be an island. On the other hand, we can go a little bit interesting. You don't have to be completely. And we take these down a little bit. This should be underwater probably anyway. Okay. Good deal. And I don't know how much beach we'll have, but that's okay too. I'm kind of not thinking there'd be a lot. All right, so we got that. Let's go ahead and save. And new 2405061 PCT Island Village. Right on. Okay, and let's delete the original circle while I'm still thinking about it before it gets lost, because we don't need it or want it. All right, so then maybe a good thing to do now would be to throw some water in here just to see how it's going to interact. So another circle. Let's just do S100 this time. Control A, rotation scale, F. Okay. And that's kind of what we're looking like. Maybe even a little higher. Maybe we should bring a person in too. It shouldn't be in water. I mean lights. M, new collection, water. Okay. Let's bring a person here, see how big we're looking at. Okay, that's not too bad then. Water. And let's go a bit higher. Don't need to move the human too. So it's not terribly deep water, but that's all right. That would make sense. Pretty small island though. We all right with that? Again, yeah, I think we are. Turn off the water. Take our guy. I just want to make sure, like, see if he's. Okay, he's roughly touching water. Still only. Of course, he's not far out either. So that's fine. Yeah. So a very shallow water, but this is going to be mostly from climate change anyway. This would have been on the land 50 years ago. So, all right. Anyway, F4, append terrain generator, light, node tree, trainer. Oh, cool. Hey, Rob. Well, I'm happy to answer any because I saw your spaceships you've been posting. They look awesome. So glad to see you. You're definitely getting it. Um, there we go. Now, that's interesting. It's kind of a neat looking vibe to it. Made it even smaller. Maybe I'll just scale our ground up a little bit. That's kind of cool. And I do kind of want to keep the rims below the water. So we either have to, yeah, we'll just go with this. That'll be fine. Let's apply it. And we're going to go into the sculpt mode. And that's where you got to start. It really is. It took me a long time before I was doing more than that. Well, actually, to be honest, I started doing with Blender water simulations, but that was just because I was using it for other stuff. When I started really using Blender, it was just basic sculpting for a long time. Okay, so bringing that down, just making sure that our lip is below the water. It is cool. So now we can even play a little bit here, give ourselves a little more ground, something like that. That seems like an acceptable island. I like this little sort of cove here. It's very tiny. Can increase that out a little bit more. Yeah. Alrighty. That's just using this elastic deform in sculpt mode, which is really great for modifying landscapes once you've got something there. Alrighty. Do we want to do terrain now or not? So by default, material gives us just this dark thing, but I don't actually like that too much for this space. So I think we're going to use something else, which I did make something like a year ago for this, but we may have to modify it. Shaders, me, landscape, and where am I? Did I not get assigned? Or just me? Sandy Shore. There we go. And it's not going to look right yet because it's not going to be UV'd, but we'll give it a second. There we go. Yeah, okay. So we're going to need to work on this a little bit. Let's move this off. Alrighty. So the first thing we're going to do is going to grab a ground and U, which brings up the UV mapping, and cube projection. Okay. And let's just look and see what we got. The whole thing is just that. And that's because if we look at our shading, I know it's a complicated node, but essentially this gradient here, hello, yes. This gradient here controls what is the top versus what is the bottom. Bottom being dirt. So if we bring this up to 2, a little more even maybe. Yeah, see now we're getting sand. Because that's what I had underneath it. So this was, and that's just setting the height of our sand here. And we're just going to have it to be like that. Cool. If we turn off the water, great. That's looking pretty good, I think. We want it that way. The only other thing we could do is when I made this, I made a second one for the same height node. This Z here brings in like darker mud, and we could bring in some of that down the bottom too. It's gonna be underwater anyway, so. Okay, Okay, so this node tree was built mostly automatically, but it's actually not that complicated. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 materials just mapped with different map nodes. So it looks complicated, but it's just the same thing over and over again. It's not anything. Trust me, it's not that bad. It's just break everything down into small parts, and it makes perfect sense. All right, so let's bring this guy back. Brings our water back. And I think I applied the scale, but let's apply it again. And then the easiest way just to make that thick is just deform and, yeah, come here, add modifier. Skin, no, solidify is what we're looking for. I can't remember where they put it. I'm trying to find the normal way. Solidify, there we go. And we can just solidify this thickness down so it's below our ground. Doesn't need to go that far. Just take it down to, yep, right there, and apply it. And that just gives us our water. Easy peasy. And come over here, and I just, Polygon IQ, or Polygonic, has a good water material that I tend to like using. We're going to go with lake because it's kind of got a good tropic vibe to it. And then we're going to need to make sure it is editable. So that we can come over here and change it to cycles instead of EV. And now, if we look, there is our ground. We may or may not need to pull it out further. You can see, depends how close we get, but we can always just extend out our ground. In fact, yeah, let's go ahead. No, let's not, just till later. Okay, so we have an island in water. It's very still water, but we're going to call it, simple tropical. So we could go nuts with it, but we're going to try to avoid it, I think, anyway, hide it up a little bit. Okay, so the first thing I was thinking was that this would have been formerly ground, and it's been messed with by climate change. So they're going to want dikes and barriers, essentially. And I was thinking of using storage containers. And specifically, Ian Hubert made one that's just quite low poly and simple. And more importantly, that changes color as you duplicate it. So there's one, and if we Alt-D, or is it just not? Is that, oh, is this one only doing it for the individual one? Let's see, I'm curious. Yes, okay, so it is doing it for that way. Do I want to keep them separate? I think I do, which means it should be a pretty simple change. Shading. So he's controlling it on a per island, right? With, yes, geometry per island. And that's where he's controlling his color ramp. But we can do something kind of neat. Let's see, duplicate that to there. And if we do another geometry or object info, yeah, object info also has a random. And Shift A, search random generator node, little bullshit thing. We throw that here. Yeah. And then math. I'm just going to add these two together. Random here and random per island here. That should give us yes. So now it's giving us, it's making our seed from a combination of random islands within the mesh and each random mesh itself that has it. So no matter how we do it, it will stay different. And if we join them together, they'll still be different. I hope that made sense. Okay, so we got our thing now. Great. And 7. Alt G. Bring it back to center. Thing back to center. Cool. And now we should be able to go Q and mesh tools from card ops and radial array. Oh, it's pretty amazing. Let's try that. And again, I've reached the point where it's pretty much all I use. So tab AR90 tab. Oh, come on, no. Tamir, where are you? Great. God damn it. Undo, we're just going back. Undo history. Go back to radio array. There we go. Okay, solo it. Now, turn it off. 7, RZ90, Control A, rotation scale. Back on. Cool. We have a ring. Yay. Let's just turn off the water. Make sure that our ring, which we can still increase the numbers. Count 18, 19, 20. Let's go 20. 20 storage containers just surrounding this island. It's like a man-made coral reef or barrier wall. And it's a little low. Let's bring it up a little bit. Okay. And great. Water back on. Cool. I just kind of want something that would help. Let's see, we can actually maybe bring this in more. So it's kind of, it touches the ground in some places too. Yeah. The other option would be just to draw a path and not make it perfectly circular, but I think we'll just go perfectly circular this time. That works for me. Save. Okay, so then our next thing we want to do is put a couple of big trees on this island. We can use Botanic. Oh yeah, I still have one from when I used it before. This is a really big palm tree. And we'll put one right down the center. Sure. You get a sense of how big that is in relation to a storage container. Pretty big. And then I want to put about 4 on the island. There. There. And we can even random transform it. So it's just a little different. Not that I think anyone's going to notice but me. And spawn an asset. Okay, cool. And maybe one more here. Cool. That's going to be, yeah, we're going to put more trees here, but that'll give us a basis for what we want, I think. Okay, so now let's start making our village. And we're going to start with platforms. I'm going to bring our guy back in a little closer too so I can see him. I want to keep his scale. Good. Great. I just kind of want him nearby. We'll use him. Shift A, mesh, circle. And scale. Cool. And a bit more. There we go. Control A, rotation scale, tab F. Inset. Okay. Oh, actually, Man, I'm not gonna do it yet. One more time. Control A, mesh, circle, but I want to cut down the number of things. There's no need to be 32 vertices. We're just gonna go with, honestly, 8 will be fine. Yeah, better. Position scale, tab, F, inset, great, 3x, face. Okay, so we're gonna put a platform and it's gonna be about that high. Now we can just A, Shift D, and come over here, and about that high. It doesn't have to be lined up perfectly, which is kind of one of the things I like about doing is manually. 7, Shift D, put another one over here. I'll just put them out first and we'll move them to here. So every tree has a platform. Yeah. It will come to this platform and bring it down a little bit. Okay, this platform also. I'm turning off proportion. Ugh. Okay, no, turning off proportional. There we go. That's fine. Cool, cool. And this one. Down and down. Okay. That'll be a good starting point. Scene collection. I'm just gonna make a new box to start with right now. New collection. We're gonna call it platforms. Form material basis. Which will make sense in a second. F4, append. We're gonna go to that auto platformer, which is fantastic. Platform generator. And object, because we want to get one that has, I like his default and his example. Just gonna lift that straight. And because we selected the platform basis, it dumps all these groups into there instead of putting it somewhere else, which would be a pain in my ass. Then we can take this, which is just the platform itself, and new collection to structures. New. Whatever. And then we can select, and you just move it off out of the way. It doesn't even matter because all we're going to use it for is to join this to this with a Control J, which gives us the exact same geometry node on here. Now we can come in here and L and just delete this one. Gone. Now it looks a little weird because it's still going to the old ground instead of the new one. Let's turn off water. But we can certainly fix that. So come out of edit mode. Here, new collection, ground. And if we just come to here and we go to our base, is it base? Yes, just change the terrain collection it's connected to ground. And our platforms all now come down and touch the ground, which is cool. And we have 5 pretty basic, simple platforms around these trees, but we can play with them more. In fact, we should. So one thing I would like to do is I think extend this so that it's connecting to the mainland via a bridge. I'm just going to turn off Botanic. So if we, and here, so I can see it better, I'm going to turn it off in edit mode. So now it just gives us our platforms. Because now we can come over here, Shift A, mesh, plane. We'll go with a square one here. Scale it up a little bit. Take it roughly the same height. Cool. And if we go 2, here an F. We've connected them. And if we give it the material of bridge, we edit, we now have a bridge coming from that one to this one. It's a very nice. It's a nice bridge. Let's give us a bit more room, I think, though. So edit this. And 2, well, we'll do it in a minute. I'm waiting because I don't want to go nuts when I do scattering later on the ground. It would be easier to add it than it would be to mess with it. But we're just going to create another platform. We can just do that, I suppose. It just won't have any ground. E to here, and E, and E. I wonder if that'll work. I've actually tried this. E, Alt S, Shift Z. No. Fine. Go the other way. E, E, E. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but whatever. Tab. And then we need to take this and make it a bridge again. And then it kind of, so we have a first bridge, then a second bridge. And once we have ground under this thing, it will add a platform to it. It just doesn't have it right now. And it's probably going to be further than we may never need to go past here anyway. So it's not about the connection to the main land so much as just having the bridge there. But now we can kind of start going a little nuts. Tab, because we can do the same thing here. F, assign as bridge. Assign as bridge. Assign as bridge. Assign as bridge. And I'm just, yeah, so we're just joining them with the F key just to create a bridge page. And then assigning that and edit. And come back out. Now we have bridges around all of them. Cool. And we can turn back on our plants. We have a regular Gilligan's Island, you know, thing. Not really a lot of room for buildings yet, though. And I kind of had a couple ideas I wanted to play, but I wanted some around these trees. I just think it's cool. So, why'd I do it? I think it's cool. But I do, so that's fine. Let's turn off our trees again. Let's create another plane. And I'm creating it in edit mode, so it's already part of the object. So I don't have to join it later. Bring that one up like that. And I wonder, we could, let's see, let's start messing this up a little bit. Morning, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's both good and bad to be back, but you know, there we go. Got that. And then F, cool. And 3, and we'll line it up more. And then we made a singular platform in the center that goes up. It's kind of stair-like. Cool. And then edit again, and E up. We want this thing to still be here too. So fill that in. And tab. And now we have a 2-floor tower. But I think I want it to be a little higher. That. And a little higher. And then Shift D. We don't have to connect it. We can just do that. And it'll build it up higher like that. Yeah, you know, it happens. So we got a tower thing kind of going on in the center, like this. And I had this idea, and I don't know how much it's even going to look cool, but I want to build, let's see. Let's take this and Shift D, bring it over to here, down. Let's move it, and we'll rotate it like that. Okay. And then Shift D up. Yeah, 2.5 is good. And then Shift D. Yeah. Actually, I should just be able to do it again, right? Shift R. Yeah. Oh, no, it's moving it. Okay. Shift D, Z, 2.5. There's our 3 tower. And cool. And we can even scale this one down just a little bit. It should give us this kind of tower straight off. Unconnected tower, but let's connect it. F, make another bridge. So when you do bridge, it puts one in between the space, so it does that. If we just left it as a piece across, it would create geometry like a whole. It would be that weird shape, but I don't really want it right like this. So actually, I'm going to remove it. Face, because I know I want to have a little bit more control over wherever it goes. So now if we do this and F and 3 and bridge and assign, yeah, now it moves it to that side better. Okay. Now, I'm going to try something here. I'm going to do even one more. Shift D, 2.5. And I'm going to take this one, and this one. Inset P section. Then I want to take these new ones that I just created, and I want to remove the geometry node from it. So that gives us a flat, empty panel right there in the middle like that. No, I mean, honestly, film hasn't really done a lot of AI yet. I'm not too worried about AI yet. I'm more worried about set designers. But no, they just decided that they would rather use photos of existing locations rather than modify them for concept art. So that's, my worry with AI in all cases though is really, it's particularly in my industry, it's not gonna replace people. It's going to reduce the number of people they need, which is equally shitty. It's just not as absolute or as media sounding. It's like, oh yeah, they're just, instead of having a talented, skilled illustrator, they're going to give AI to someone to a coordinator and just let them do it, or need one illustrator instead of 3 illustrators or whatever. Anyway, all right. So we got this thing here. Let's edit it. Let's solo it. And we don't even really need to cut it because it's square. Should be fine. What we can do though, I was thinking this might be neat, is if we panel cloth, and I'm going to remove the original faces and excuse me, subdivide cuts. We'll start with 5. It's going the wrong direction. And the reason for that is because pressure is set to 1 by default. If we increase our mass to like 0.5 and 0.5, well, why is it flat? Oh, well, that's because it's not shrinking enough. But if we go to max of -1 and gravity min of 1, max of 1, let's see if we're starting to get something. Still not there yet. Let's go cuts of 10. Starting to get closer now. F9 and a margin maybe of 0.1. No, we don't want to do that. Let's see what we look like with this thing still, everything there. We're not there yet. Let's see. Quality of 10. Does that help us? Starting to get better. cuts of 20. Just trying. I know it looks like ass right now. -1. Zero. Let's see. I had this kind of working before, and there are other ways I could do it with this thing. In fact, I might just do that. Tab. Screw you. Screw you. We want actual cloth sim. Just getting a little bit weird, and I don't have time for this shit. Physics. Simply create simply cloth on all of them. Okay. Now, tab, W, subdivide. Let's go with 10. At least to start with. 10 should be okay. Excuse me. 2. We want to select all the edges. On all 3 of them. This might be a waste of time. I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool. And pin them. Now we're going to go with what kind of cloth do we want? Come here. Come here. Here we go. Yeah, wool sounds fine. I'm going to go shrink of -0.5. Now let's see what we get. Hangs down nicely. Even a little too much. Shrink of -0.25. I could have just modeled something like this too, but you know, a little less even. Shrink of -1. Still go, oh, not a whole 1, -0.1. It's like, why'd it go huge? Dumbass. There we go. That's looking kind of nice. I have seen that article. I think it's bullshit. I know the article you're talking about. It's a very nice thing. It applies in a very specific sense, and it's not really applicable most places. So people are sharing it like it's a ooh yay, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, it is, but it isn't gonna. I think people are way too. Let me change my statement. Where AI is going to be used to that level, the requirements for consistency and control will be way less, as they actually used to be in animation for a lot of the case. So like, it's just going to be a lot more dream sequence and trippy. You'll see a lot more short clip cuts, that kind of thing. I don't think it's actually going to make much difference, but finish cloth. Finish and apply cloth. Great. Give it all to me. Done. And which is not to be mean, like it's fine, but I just I don't particularly agree with it. I think it's nice, but I think a lot of people are very much still trying to find out like this can't be used. See, oh, it can be used, and it will be used. There we go. Okay, so we got our little cloth fabric thing. I like that in our tower. We probably should have more of them, but we're only going to do one. What time is it now? 39. Okay, we're doing all right. Then we can decide to either grow something or make that a mesh or both. We'll leave it all in for right now. Here, tab, come back in. Actually, 3, bring that up a little more. And I'm gonna get rid of the stuff underneath these things. Or underneath, but platform details, scatter on. platform density down to like 0.01, very little. Yep, exactly. That is what I think will happen. So that's what I would do if I were using it. And people's tastes, or the funny thing is people think that their tastes don't change, but they are very controllable. So let's see, 7E out and E out, and then that 7E out and E out. Great. And 3. And we're going to make that a material of balcony, which lets the thing know not to put supports hanging down underneath that section, which is just cool. Now, we don't have any real good walls in this one, sadly, but I think we're just going to make something. And we could continue to use, we've been using procedural building generator, PBG. Maybe we'll use PBG some more, just to get us some stuff in here. Let's try it. Shift A, mesh, cube, tab GZ1, tab scale. Doesn't really need a roof, but we're probably gonna, well, maybe we don't actually have to give it one. Yeah, and then Shift D, GZ up. Yeah, we need to bring our roof higher on this one, so I thought. Okay. And tab. Oh, I want those together anyway. Join. Tab. GY out. And GY out. And GY, no, E. This time we want E and E. So you get something a little different. Shape like that. Okay. Exit, come back and we'll just fix this now. And up higher. Tab. And cube again. GZ1. GZ.5. Okay. So we're going with 2.5 meter structures on this one. E. E. Grab that, like that. Okay, cool. Start of a structure. And the cool thing is because it's procedural, we can keep building on it later, or it will be procedural. Let's go ahead and do that. See if I remember how to do it now. Reasonably sure I do. Add points. Okay. Add points. Cool. Instance mixed assets. Good. There we go. Then we can go with, which one do we like? Wood shed, yeah. and KWC. Moving off here. Okay. So here we should be able to come down and style 1 is going to be woodshed. Style 2 is going to be KWC. And we could do a timber on the third one, but no, I think this would be okay. I think we're all right. Let's just look and see what we got. Right now it's that, which is kind of interesting. Walls is going to be 1. Yeah. Roof is going to be 2. Sure. Floors are going to be 2. Pillars are going to be 2. Greebles are going to be 2. Beams are going to be 2. Excuse me. Yeah. Cool. And that creates us a basic structure that we can use. Our door's a little bit off there, which we could tweak, but we'll see. We want to make a couple more first, too. Right now, we just have this one little house, basically, and these platforms. As cool as these platforms are, I want to add a bit more to it than that. Okay, tab 7 and E. And if we go to normal for direction, kind of get it flattened down a little bit, at least together. E. And E. 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 And then EZ1. No, come on. Oh, because I'm not on right. Global. EZ1. There we go. Tab. Huge thing. But let's change these. Maybe not that one. These ones to balcony. Assign. And see what that gives us. Yeah. Nice big platform. Off of this, we can come in here if we want to. And let's just get rid of this one. Face and make it a balcony again. Or a bridge, rather. Cool. And then, yeah, we could probably make this go back up. Yeah, I don't know if we want to. Actually, let's do this. E down. Let's see if we can bring it in a little bit more. Ladder. Cool. There we go. So we got a ladder coming down to the ground now. Right, to the ground now. Great. And maybe one more of those kind of platforms off this side here. Just got to keep track of our time though. 7. And just put over here. Shift A, plane, scale. And okay. There we go. And we can do, how do we want to do this? Control R. Sure. F3 bridge assign. And then we have this god awful platform. Woohoo! Scale and scale. Does that help us, Benny? Yeah, that's better. This takes it in. I agree. I think that's the fun part for me, Rob. Totally. Um, and it's always the interesting thing for me because it's like I tend towards realism as much as I can. So it's like you can't, like, if this is animation, you could push it way more, but you like trying to get that bounds in realism is what really excites me. I'm like, ooh, yeah. Let's see. Can we do this now? I'm curious. Control R. Sure. 2E GZ down. Does that give me a no? Okay, and then we have to go out slightly to get a ladder. Yes, we got a ladder. And then to keep it from being the same, let's go Control R, E, GZ, GX. Cool. So we have ladders going up there now. Nice. Yeah, I love that. It's literally my favorite thing. Excuse me. Okay. And then bring our water back. Let's see. So that's almost to our water, which is cool. Just kind of looking around to see what else we want to do to it. Because what we could do to it, obviously, is do we want to? Do we want to build on top of those storage containers all the way around and just create a giant loop? Could be cool. Wouldn't be hard. We just need to move this to ground. So it's inside that same group. And then let's see what happens if we Shift S1, create mesh circle, scale it. Where am I? Huh? Where'd it go? Edit, undo history. Okay, just do it again. Okay, get rid of our water so I can see what I'm doing. And Shift A, mesh. So how many of these did I have? That's a good question. There were 20. Okay, so Shift A, mesh, circle, vertices 20. There we go. Scale. S40. GZ. Where is it? Is it? Oh, it's just way up there. How's it so big? I don't know. Right, whatever. Great. Okay, that's cool. Take it down to like there. There. Okay. Now, Control A, rotation scale, Tab F. Let's actually scale it out a little more. There we go. Inset X faces. And we take this bad boy and we join it to that. And we have a ring all the way around. That goes on to our, should be going further. Oh, it must be thinking it's touching that too. Well, I think with the water it'd be fine. Some of them don't go all the way down. We have a wall basically. That gives us, I like it. It gives us a lot more height option changes too to see things. That's very cool. And let's come over to here and tab, and again, Control R just to add a little bit of flexibility to this sucker. So I can say exactly where I want this ladder to go, or this bridge to go to. So let's see what it looks like. This is, if we make it a platform, which is kind of cool, or a bridge, which is kind of, I think this time I want it to be a platform. Maybe I'll do it for both too. Let's give us a nice big, yeah, something like that. I know it's a little off, but that's fine. Cool. Then let's see. Tab. No, this tab. This edit. Thank you. Let's see. 3. Select that. 7. Now what happens if we select random and we make it deselect? Okay. And then we, ooh, I even got one there. Excellent. Shift D, GZ 2.5, and individual origins, scale, tab. The second story on some of them. It's kind of cool. It's like a little fort now. Has that sort of design language of a castle, even if it's not one, that I think is kind of cool. And then we can, of course, come back in and 2. We can do this, F, and make this a bridge. And we can make this a bridge. And then we have towers. Let's see if there's any other ones we want to bridge. Let's bridge this and this. Oh, I don't feel ever need. I'm a concept artist, man. No one does that. I mean, particularly in TV. No, what I try to do is modify other people's stuff. Like I don't, or use it for very background things. Like I try to make it. Do I really care that someone else made these pillars? No. Would I want to use their building? Probably not. Does that make sense? But no, I don't feel the need to create every element. I mean, Photoshop painters use other people's brushes, and certainly photo bashing has been a thing for decades. Like it's the same kind of vibe for me. I try to add value. So I try to create something that is mine, that has my viewpoint to it, and doesn't, um, excuse me, um, just steal somebody else's. There we go. Cool. If that makes sense. I don't know. Like there's no hard and fast way to prove like that's what you're doing. Um, like I try to make as much as I can for me to tell my story. And I don't want to. I don't want to look like some like what I hate is when you look and you're like, oh, so and so just used, I don't know, big, medium, small kits from Jama, and it's just that. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of lame. Like that stuff already exists. You don't need to make that. Um, but exactly. Turn off these. Let's do this our basic. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put a building on this platform here. Mesh, cube, GZ1, 7, rotate, kind of try to get it close. S, Shift Z, 3, E, a bigger building here. And I'll go with a sloped roof. Sure. That's cool. We still don't have that many houses. I'm gonna put some over here too. Cube. GZ1. Okay. And let's see, can we do 3L7 dot, come here. Gee, let's move this over to here, like that more, and then E to here, and I want to do E and then E, something like that. And then I could build it inside here, but we have the advantage of having this thing now, so we can just come tab, Shift A, plane, GZ down, scale it out. That's kind of interesting. Gives us this big thing like that. Why? We don't know, but it's cool. All right, I think it's cool. And then let's come back here again, tab. I could just keep editing these things forever. I just like building. And so we're going to build a balcony onto this one again. And let's move that. Let's fix that so it doesn't go down as much. It doesn't have to be perfectly lined up, but closer. Okay, and 3. Doop, 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 doop. Cool. And balcony. Sign. And then I want to go grab all these, grab these. Cool. And maybe even those. And easy one. Give us railings. Makes it feel more intentional, like someone actually lives here. I think I do want one here. I wasn't sure, but easy one and easy one. And yeah, here too. Why not? Change my mind. Cool. Alrighty. So we're getting that all done. This nice, huge thing. Maybe one more house down here on the bottom floor. I think we will. L, Shift D, GZ. S of Shift Z. Take it to there. Tab, house. Cool. And I think it would make sense to put one here too. That GZ1 and okay, so that kicks us to that tab. I want to actually try something here. X faces. Cool. So it gives us like a little guard through thing. It does work. Thought it would, but still cool. Now let's come back here and EZ 2.5. 2.5. Yes. Okay, got ourselves a little structure there. Now, Where are we at? 105. Okay, we're doing good. We're still under 1 million polys too, which is not bad. Just let's bring our, just to see. There's our big trees back. We're gonna add little trees too, but there's our big trees around here. Cool. Is that enough housing? Do we want one more house? Is that enough housing? I don't know. I think we want one more house. I'm just gonna 7 Shift D G and Shift D and move 3 and cool. Gives the platforms. Right. That's a reasonably good platform. I think that's good. And we can extend. Let's see. I'm gonna, just so I can control exactly where it's going. Bridge the sign. Did not go. Oh, did I try to join to a bridge? Oh, I did, didn't I? Let's undo that. That was already a bridge. Yes. Okay, so we'll go to this one. Let's see. That's better. And I'm just gonna make that one a balcony, I think. So it would be a connected platform without sub things. Yeah, that's cool. I like the bridge. Nice. Okay. And then we can do our last little building guy. And we just select our building structure and edit it. So we can come over here and Shift A, cube, three, GZ 0.5, A, GZ 1, L, S, Shift C to there. Cool. There we go. And let's give this guy again another angled roof just to differentiate it. Tower. Cool. Woohoo! And again here, E2, E. Now let's actually do a ramp this time like that. So we actually have something that goes up. Cool. And then EZ1. Platform. Did I do it on this one? No, I didn't do here. Okay. Cool. And we're getting a lot of extra double supports on that building, but I'm okay with that. Save. All right, let's start doing some more stuff. Let's turn off our water. Now let's come back in here, and this is all, those are all inside the structure, so they shouldn't need to go anywhere. Where are they? They are in just our default buildings. I'm just going to M new collection buildings, just in case we need them. Kill complex. I don't think we will, but okay. But if we come here, we can geoscatter our ground on that, and we'll have to close asset browser, biome scatter, open biomes, and I'm going to go with that jungle 13 again because it's just cool and it's been doing us right lately. Jungle forest 13. And it's loading up, and it's going to take it a minute. And this is why I didn't increase our land beyond the size yet, is because it's going to be a pain until I can constrain it. And you have to make it before you can constrain it, which is annoying. Great. We have made it. Now, first thing, upward obstruction of water, right? Not even. Let's kill geoscatter. Let's make another new group. Call it upward obstructions, because we want both the water in there, yeah, and the structures in there. So if we come here and upward obstructions to obstructions, turn it back on, this may not be what we want actually, but we'll think about it. It's thinking. Did I turn it back on? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, so we actually don't want that here. I'm lying as I rethink it. And the reason is we want grass to grow underneath these platforms. We just don't want trees, and this will get everything. So we'll just do water. And then on our tree here, we can do another culling mask just while we're here, upward obstruction of structures. And I'm going to put a proximity just because I've done this before now to structures of 2 meters. So no tree will grow underneath a structure or within 2 meters of where it sees one. And if we turn it back on, woohoo, save. And we have lots of trees everywhere, but nothing's growing into our building, I think. We have a little bit there. We need to fix that. Okay, so that's our second one. That is these. Come on. I'm gonna actually just turn off. Come on. Turn off geoscatter. Then I'm gonna just turn off all of those. So it's just that thing. And then turn it back on. Just for processing. And we want, let's try just doing a repel on structures. Because I still want to grow underneath it. Distance of 2. Yeah, it gets rid of probably most of the ones underneath it too, but so I mean we don't have to go all the way to 2. We could do 1. I'd like to keep it as close to the building as I can without it growing through it. At least growing through important parts. That seems better. Great. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay. So we've created our jungle. It grows around that, but it doesn't grow under the water at all. So now can turn off geoscatter and turn off our water. And come here, tab, tab 2. Can you select my entire rim? Yes, you can. Take it to there. Great. Still underneath the water. That's what I want to make sure of. It doesn't. I don't want to extend past the water. It does extend past the water, but we can just extend our water out bigger too. S Shift C. And okay. Let's come back to new edit. And GZ. There we go. Cool. So now our land should extend out to our water for the purposes of like looking down into it and seeing what we got. Yeah, it does. And we can turn back on our scatter. And we have our sort of sunken storage units containers down there. They're neat looking. I like them. I'll try one more thing. I'm also famed for the one more thing concept. So, this bad boy here, tab. Let's edit it. I want to select that whole thing. Shift D down and out. See what that gives us. That would make sense. Maybe I don't want it quite everywhere around that base, but I think I like that idea. Let's say 3, select, check or deselect, X faces. Cool. Now I have some add to it, but not everywhere. Yeah, that's cool. And the structure knows where it exists and where it doesn't exist, so it just goes around it when it needs to. And I think that is cool. Now, I want to add a bit more techie stuff too, because we have right now, this could almost be a medieval, like fantasy village, and it's not. And we want to make sure that we recognize that in our illustration so it's obvious from a glance. We could put some lights in, but the thing that I overwhelmingly see about sort of what I like about Central America is just how dark it is at night. Like that there aren't a lot of floodlights and that kind of thing everywhere. We could put a couple in though. Certainly we can do a tower of some kind off to here. Maybe in our little like cove area here. If we put something cylinder, scale it. We all know how much I love the cylinders. Turn off water for right now. Bring that up to here. Cool. And tab. Add some edge loops just to get things a little bit more square. Oh, and Control A, rotation scale. Plate insets, plating seed. We want more than that for depth. 0.5. That might be a bit much on this one. Something like that. Okay, sure. Something like that seems cool. And let's see. You want on top of it. It definitely needs to be something up on top of it. Whether it's an antenna or just more modeling. See, is there anything in here we kind of like? I mean, obviously, yeah. This is kind of a cool thing. Object set origin 3D cursor. Object set origin geometry to origin. Scale it. GZ. Excuse me. And scale it in just a little bit. So that can go. It's kind of neat. And I don't know. Do I like it? Do I not like it? It's okay. I don't think I do though. But I think I might like it more as a piece like this. Scale it. Yeah. Shift, control, rotation, scale. Q, array. Come here. Where'd my array go? Count. 3. Distance. 4. Yeah. That's cool. Go around the outside like that. And maybe we'll just throw something. Yeah, we'll just do that. So again, 7. We just get exact object set origin to 3D cursor. Object set origin geometry to origin. And then just bring it back up again. But now it's centered on the thing. Scale it up a bit. Sure. I don't know what it is, but it's a techie thing. Let's move this out of the way. Header. In case we want to do one more. I think we do. And object set origin 3D cursor. Object set origin geometry to origin. Scale it up. That might be underwater right now, but it's just so cool. So we're going to take it to here. We're going to edit it. 3. Good. Alt-E, extrude along normals. That'll take it far enough in. Coplanar. Sweet. Add back our water. Yeah, cool. Now we have a techie thing. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't matter. It does need a material though. And right now, let's go with shaders, me, chevron distress tool. Now let's see what we got. Tab A, U, cube projection. Yeah, it was. Cool. And this one, it's got some dark metal and light metal. Metal sheeting on light metal. Yes. And dark metal, distressed hull. You know it, baby. Mhm. This sucker, I think we're just going to go, yeah. Control link, materials. Do you want that top? Yeah, we'll go that. And this bad boy is going to be distressed hull, I think. Yeah. Save. I like him. It's looking good. Let's get rid of that guy while I'm thinking about it now. I know you weren't. Don't think I don't know. And all right, so I made this something else yesterday. I just want to use it, so we're going to use it. I made this yesterday. I thought it was cool looking. We're going to use it. Just cause. Ugh, all those extra parts. How annoying. I didn't, wait, it should be applied now. Why is it? Undo. This should not need all that anymore. It's just got auto smooth. There should be no collections, relations. No. Why are you tying into everything? Yeah, we're going to always use a spaceship, but we're going to just put it up here in collection then. If it's going to do that. I don't think I have anything else there. Nope. Control V. Yeah, go in. Cool. And where's mine that I just made? I don't want any of this stuff. Yeah, that's it. M, new collection, AV. Cool. And then I'm just going to turn this fucker off because goodbye. Yes. Cool. We'll have to figure out where we want them exactly, but, and then this sucker is where that we don't need it at all. And those two, M collection. Good. Now. Okay. Let's see. We're doing good. Let's give it a sky. I might change the sky stuff a little bit afterward, but this is the modeling part basically done. Let's import one. Again, if you don't know, mappaint.com has tons and tons and tons, literally almost terabytes of free HDRs out there. Highly recommended. So the free ones are all 2K, which is usually fine for the stuff we do. And by we, I mean the stuff that I do. And they're nice. Let's try 1180, see what it gives us. And Z8. And obviously I still have geoscatter turned off, but we will. It's pretty dark. We could brighten it up a bit. We'll have to lower it too. world Z location, not transparent background, Z location minus 0.1. Cool. And exposure of 1. That's way brighter. It's still like a evening shot. It might be a little too dark. Might try a different one. Import. Let's just see what like 1025 does. Same world, same day, different time. Way brighter. That might be too bright now with the exposure of 1. Exposure of 0, that's its default. Cool. And photographer, let's set our camera up. There, Alexa, sorry. Anamorphic, resolution, that, and it's all right. It's not a great composition yet, but is that one floating? Why are you floating? Okay, that's bizarre, but whatever. L. That must have gotten moved somehow because it was not floating before, but that's fine. And where'd he go? Oh, probably off of our camera length too. Clip end, we'll go 250, should be fine. Pretty much, right? I mean, that is the job. That's what I love about it, though. Okay. And bring back in our light. And turn back on our geoscatter. And oh, I know why. I was like, why is it not showing? Because we turned everything off except that thing. We're not going to turn it all back on because there's no need at this level, but I do want to see what the trees are. Looks like all of them got moved up. Okay, that's annoying. What the hell here? Yeah, looks like they did. I must have accidentally moved something. Let's make sure it's lining up now. That one is. These are not now. Okay. Yeah, these are not now because I moved down. Everything else looks like it's sitting pretty good. Yeah, I post them all up on Mastodon and Instagram and Facebook and all the usual places. But probably Mastodon is my favorite of the social medias now. I'm trying to get into Blue Sky, but I just can't seem to get the traction that other people seem to, which is fine. But yeah, I'll post up. I usually do 4 versions of these and post them up by 11 o'clock or so my time. I don't know. I guess you're somewhere else, but I'm in I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, so it's 9 in the morning right now for me. So like another 2 hours or so, I'll post them up until I get them all rendered up and done. And yeah, I think I'll call it for now, guys. Let's just turn everything back on so we can just see one more time because it looks cool. I might do a little bit more tweaking. I might do a little atmospheric fog. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. Um, Patreon, that's true. I do have a Patreon. You are correct. I don't tend to post up final renders there just because I hate people who spam their Patreon constantly. I find it annoying. Um, but I do share a model, at least a model a month up there for everything above the $1 tier. And yeah, um, I'm around. Cool, man. I'm glad you had fun. It was good to have you here. All right, everybody, let's see what this looks like. Moment of truth, right? We basically saw it before, but do, 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 do. Yeah, yeah, I'm liking it. Well, it gives us lots of little close-ups. We can go into it and see, but I think that'll work. Cool. All right, folks. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me. We'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. Have a great rest.